In the bottom left corner from Team FXO, it is LoWeLy, the Belarusian Zerg player that placed 4th in WCS Europe, 1st in the combined regionals, as well as whatever tournament in Belarus, he pretty much wins. LoWeLy is a hometown hero, and we're glad to have him in NASL Season 4, and we wish him the best of luck in the future. In the top right, we have his teammate Strelok in the same division, in the same position, both 1 and 6. Strelok, I guess at this point they're fighting for bragging rights as well as $150. It's a nice little show match between 2 European guys that have shown lots of great games. And what's always fun is that I always tell Andre, you know, with LoWeLy and Strelok game, even though they may not be winning, it's always fun to cast them because they show really cool builds.
I definitely agree with that statement there, Dan. As these guys are going to be spawning cross-map on Whirlwind, the farthest distances that this actually might be the furthest distances that you can spawn in the North American Star League.
Yeah, I would agree so. I mean, Whirlwind is one of our biggest maps. Metropolis is also pretty big. Man, imagine if you could spawn like on the islands on Metropolis.
That would be awesome.
I would, if you would force the game on Metropolis, and then you would have to like open air of some kind.
Day 9 makes a really strong case for island maps. I think.
What does he say?
Hearing him talk about it makes it just sound really compelling. Just that the kind of play style that it demands is something that the metagame deserves to be
explored.
Yeah, it deserves to be explored, deserves to be exposed to.
I would like to see what Zergs can do with really early Overlord drop, you know, like if they start on an island map. Something like that, or like, you know, what does Terran do when they can lift their buildings early on? How can they manipulate the map that way?
I used to play back in the days of Scrap Station when Thor Drop was so popular. I would play kind of weird expand, but at like 23 drones start making roaches for defenses into a very fast layer and into like a 30 roach drop. And it was really successful back in the day. And I think those kind of styles are really cool. We also saw something like that from Xenio and Xenio versus Cast for the Intel Extreme Masters in Kiev, Ukraine, like a year ago. One of the best games of StarCraft I've ever seen. It was played on Shattered Temple. Xenio went for a ridiculously fast roach drop, killed all but like 5 of Cast's SCVs, and somehow Cast came back to win that game.
Yeah, I mean, Cass, he's definitely, I feel like Cass has been in so many situations before just by the sheer volume of games he's played that he knows he's never really out until it's basically time to call
And if
curtains.
Cass has an orbital command, he thinks he's ahead.
Yeah, him and every other Empire Terran. Except maybe for BC. Sometimes BC leaves a little bit early as a result. It is Whirlwind, like you said, Ben. It's a map that Hellions are great on, but maybe Mech not so much. It's so expansive, like you said. Whirlwind kind of reminds me of that 2v2 map Tempest. Did you ever play 2v2? Like where there's like basically you and your opponent would spawn right next to each other and you both would share like a ramp in a sense when you walk down. It was very green, luscious, like Whirlwind, but it's also got like that wide open center. It is. It's a luscious map.
I like that word. LoWeLy's doing something crazy, Dan. He's getting a little cray here. He's going for a layer before Zergling speed. Probably going to be... I have no idea what this is going to be.
He's not gassing either, so it's not like he's rushing for mutas. He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't.
I
really
have no idea what this is going to be.
Is it going to be like a fast?
Has to be fast infester, I guess.
Fast infester. Well, he does love early infestors, almost to a fault. In fact, sometimes he gets like early infestors out, and he doesn't have any units to support it. He just has infestors.
There it is, infestation pit going down.
But he's not gas. Oh, okay, he's gassing up his natural now. This is really interesting. I just want to see what happens.
Yeah, I can explain a little bit of what's going on here. So he went for the very fast layer. Wants to get this fast infestor tech into play. Couldn't take the gases in his natural yet because he didn't have enough drones there. He only now has enough drones to fully mine his natural. So he's going to take those 3rd and 4th gases after the infestation pit goes down when he finally has enough to saturate it. And this is going to mean he's going to have enough gas for 3, maybe... Well, actually, it's looking more like 2, maybe 3 infestors as this infestation pit finishes up. From which point, I have no idea what he's going to do. He's gone double Evo, so he's going to get some upgrades, and
I mean,
we'll see.
If he makes pathogen glands, he'll be able to afford 1 infestor.
That's true. Or he can make pathogen glands and then afford 3 or 4 infestors at 31 seconds of the research being through, which is when you want to start them.
Right. It's just that LoWeLy, he's always been like a 2-base tech kind of guy.
Yeah, he's definitely got a reputation for doing crazy stuff off 2 bases. I mean, I always remember the game he played against Thorzane in Season 3 of the North American Star League, where he did the really bizarre Baneling bust on Tall Dream Altar that just barely works. Yep.
Strelok is going for mech, by the way, on Whirlwind. It's a tough map to pull it off on, but it's not impossible. In fact, I don't think anything's impossible in Terran vs. Zerg.
Some things are impossible in Terran vs. Zerg.
With Flash, all things are possible.
It is impossible to only build Ravens.
Sounds like a challenge, Ben. Is that what you're saying? It's impossible to only build Ravens?
Yep. Try playing mono battles with just Ravens.
Aren't Ravens like ridiculously strong in free-for-all scenarios and team? Because like
yeah, but we're talking 1v1.
Yes.
You can only build Ravens. I can build everything. Impossible.
Maybe. I don't know, man.
Impossible.
You never know.
What's also very difficult is crossing the map while meching when you're cross-spawn on Whirlwind. We're going to have to see how this is going to work out. LoWeLy is moving out with a lot of Zerglings and some Infestors. I think we might be seeing an Infested Terran bust at the front, Dan, as those Infestors are oh so slowly burrowing their way through. I do hear some Banshees firing somewhere.
Either way, I'm really focused on whether this bust is going to be able to work. The Banshee is at home.
Oh, there's a Raven out. This is going to actually change everything. The Raven spots the Infestors. Oh, no. Tragedy for LoWeLy. As that did not work out at all. Zerglings will run past in the third base and try to do some damage.
Man, you're talking smack on Ravens. This is what a Raven does, Ben. Well,
what would
he's
that
still
Raven
losing
have
stuff
done
at the third.
without the Hellions?
I don't know. But the fact is, a Raven was instrumental.
It was absolutely instrumental. LoWeLy knocks out that 4th command center. Is going to continue running around with Zerglings. Tries to slide up in it. Oh, that's not a full wall. Right now, Infestor's saying.
Oh no, Strelok! This is getting way out of way out of hand. Both players losing way more than they should.
Strelok's like, I did not plan for this. LoWeLy's trying to transition right now, getting his Spire, getting his Hive, getting his third base. He has droned up a bit. He's on 70 drones now, so in spite of the fact that he didn't do that much damage with his Infestor timing, 12 workers is okay, but against 3 orbitals, it's really not that consequential. He's going to go ahead and try to round out that tech tree, get up to that in-game army that is so feared, the Infestor Broodlord.
Yes. LoWeLy has no problems turning on the aggression and turtling like crazy. If you saw his games against Hero, it was almost the exact same thing. Very early aggression into like lots of drones, and then continue to be a little bit aggressive, and then become completely static. Just make Infestor Broodlord, make Spine Crawlers, make sure to turtle up on every single base, and they can't attack you from any direction. And from there, just get one awesome engagement where Terran loses everything. Strelok still staying on the mech composition as he's going for 2-2 and going for Siege Tank transition. After only a few Thors, because he sees early Infestors out, he knows no Mutas, so it's not that big of a threat. The only other thing that Thors would be really useful for in this scenario would be against any kind of roaches. But, I mean, truth be told, LoWeLy's going for Zergling, so he knows, get those Siege Tanks out as fast as possible.
That's right. Strelok right now sitting on 140 supply against the 120 of LoWeLy. It's a comfortable position. One thing that LoWeLy did not get, which kind of surprises me a little bit when you're playing pure Zergling Infestor against mech, is Neural Parasite. I think it's a really handy upgrade to have against Thors, even though sometimes it can be hard to pull off when you're playing this kind of a style. I think it's worth investing in.
Yes, and I think that's a really good point to bring up, Ben. As LoWeLy is expanding, both players are expanding and taking this very slow. Upcoming engagements, Hellions trying. Ooh, nice fungal there from LoWeLy, but I mean, all the Zerglings got taken out. Not much support as the Ravens. Ooh, the Infestor's kind of being indecisive and trying to run up the ramp and not really being able to escape too easily. Although Strelok now trying to get into position, and his 2-2's about to finish up as well. This is a nice timing pre-Hive if he can land it, but LoWeLy seems to have enough space to work with. Because look how big Whirlwind is,
yeah,
man.
It's just such a big map, and the problem with playing this kind of a style on Whirlwind is if you commit to attack, Zerg's going to counter and take out all your expansions. If you just sit back and defend, Zerg's going to continue to tech up and get Broodlords out. So there's not really a winning answer on Whirlwind when you're trying to mech, in my opinion.
Yeah, and ooh. A big run by attempt from here from LoWeLy to try to stall for time because he wants to allow his Corruptors enough minutes so he can transfer him to Broodlords.
No! They do drop a big fungal on this mech, and they're going to try to run away. It's going to be tough, though. Only one Infestor dies. This expansion gets shut down, though, and Roaches and Lings will try to sneak out to the side, see if they can do some more damage somewhere else. Strelok trying his very best to sort of hang in there, but this is just one of the real difficulties when you're playing this style on this map. Zerg mobility will punish the immobility of the meching Terran.
Yeah, that's right, Ben. Speed is the name of the game for now, as Strelok doesn't... I mean, he wants to directly confront the army before Broodlords come out. It's just that LoWeLy never allows that to happen. He's always doing something with his army. Broodlords are now coming out. The only form of anti-air is just a couple of Vikings and a couple of the Thors. Strelok has to be very cautious with how he does this. If he gets a good arc with whatever Vikings he has, it'll be nice. But still, I mean, he does have a nice bank going to start accumulating up too, because Strelok does have a lot of supply. I feel like Strelok can pull this off if he can spread out his units, make sure to avoid getting fungal, because there's not that many broods from LoWeLy.
Something Strelok is doing very, very well is expanding. He's constantly taking bases behind all of this. Even after losing command centers, he just drops another CC, continues to add to his production capabilities, continues to add to his income potential, and now he's in a pretty nice spot in that regard. Now he is maybe a little oversaturated on the SCVs. He's got 82 workers out.
Uh-oh, a huge engagement in the middle though. Siege tanks were not in position, and as a result, they get immediately flanked, and that is good news for LoWeLy. And that's going to empower the small units in order to kill off the Thors. Broodlords are very well protected, and Strelok has no answer really for the high-tech army, as he lost a huge amount of supply. Oh my goodness. The army supply right now is 99 to 60 from Strelok.
Yeah, as Strelok's actually still producing SCVs, Dan, even though he has 82 of them. This is way too many workers. He could definitely afford to have a few of them with this army, but I don't know if it's going to save him at this point as LoWeLy continues to push forward. Where are the Broodlords? They're so slow. They're actually going backwards right now.
This is actually the attempt for them to move forward. They're moving backwards. LoWeLy just has to put on more aggression, shut down the expansions, and because I mean, Strelok does have a nice economy going on for him. He's gotten 3,500 minerals per minute, so it's still lots of resources coming in. It's just that he can't really confront the army because Zerg's Hive Tech is going to get stronger. He's going to get better upgrades. He's going to get more Infestors. He's losing his Thors here and there, and that's what you can't really afford to do.
Supply-wise, it looks awfully even, 175 to 160. But if you look at the fights on the ground, it's anything but even, as LoWeLy is just stopping every single engagement. He will take out one more of Strelok's expansions. And an important one is that is Strelok's main is mined out. His natural is soon to be mined out. That means he's basically mining on a single base.
Nice run by here from Strelok to kill off like 15 to 20 workers-ish. Strelok now has killed 21 workers this game. LoWeLy, of course, killed his own fair amount. Wow! Strelok landing his Vikings to deal with the Roaches, and LoWeLy be able to pick off a couple of those at the same time. So nice trades here overall for LoWeLy. Things are looking pretty good, as only 7 Thors and 6 Vikings are on the field right now for Strelok.
Good news for Strelok, he's got no shortage of command centers. There's 4 of them in his third base, so he can continue to expand around the map even after losing a few. We're actually seeing the fruits of all those command centers paying off as so many mules. It's like 6, 7 mules being called down at once over there in that 4th base. Roaches and Zerglings still running around the map with great haste. LoWeLy probably wants to replace some of the drones he's lost, and he's going to do just that. Back up to 71 workers right now as he continues to upgrade. Where are his Broodlords, and why isn't he continuing to add to that count? He's got 5 Broodlords out, and instead of making more, he's just producing Infestors and Zerglings. Now, Infestors, of course, maybe the best Zerg unit, but he's definitely going to want to supplement that Broodlord count in some capacity.
I do like what LoWeLy's doing, though, with some of those Zerglings, burrowing them around to see any kind of counterattack pass, whether it's Hellions running by, Siege Tanks and Thors moving into position. Strelok, now this is the concave we're talking about, but does he hit? Ooh. Well, I guess has to be very cautious with how he does his Thors.
Are we really going to see Thors fumbled to death? That would be the funniest thing in the world.
Is this even really cost efficient for Zerg
I don't
to do
think
it like
so,
that?
but I mean, Broodlords are going to come forward, and they're going to have no trouble making short work of what remains of that Thor HP. And Strelok again fighting a very difficult battle. He's ahead in supply, but it doesn't seem to matter as LoWeLy is just going to continue to crush forward. He is going to go ahead and remax on Roaches, and that's going to vault him way ahead of Strelok in the supplies, 170 to 130. If you look at the army supplies, LoWeLy is nearly doubling Strelok, 110 to 60. Broodlords and Infestors will continue to push forward. They found the command center farm.
Uh-oh. And the Vikings do deal with the Broodlords, but Strelok doesn't have any hands to these infested Terrans. There's actually too many. Although Strelok did manage to kill a lot of drones in a run by, and LoWeLy did burrow them. Strelok killing about 13 there. LoWeLy's drone count isn't that high, but still he's got a lot of infestors and roaches coming in, especially with 9 infestors about to pop. This one expansion will die. Another one is going to be pushed up very soon. Strelok is trying to expand towards the top left, but he's getting his units picked off also off of spawn, so I feel like Strelok just can't really stabilize here. Like, is he going to be able to even protect these exterior expansions?
No,
because
I don't think that he can.
The rally point is so long.
Roaches are going to come forward once more and see if they can shut down this planetary. It's going to be double planetary. That's going to make for an interesting sort of an engagement. But
oh, the mules! They all got caught in the fungal. That's so unfortunate.
Look at these planetaries actually hanging in there. Strelok's going to hold this base.
Man, you did it without building armor.
Or will he?
Oh, at least one planetary might survive, but we'll focus on that later. There's more fish to fry as those infestors are moving out to another base. Whoa, moving those infestors a little bit too close. As a planetary does 40 damage, those hit a lot. Big push down the bottom center. LoWeLy has a lot of drones there. In fact, he's not even harvesting from the geysers, as he doesn't really have things in position to defend that base. So kind of both players are base hunting, trying to stifle each other's economy and ability to remax, but Strelok has nothing. He's mined out of his main, he's mined out of his natural. He's got one patch left of minerals.
He's got one more place to land and mine. LoWeLy still has some money banked, and he still has some expansions around the map, although he's not mining at many of them. Strelok down to just 88 supply. It is a scary 88 supply. 3-3 Thors, or 3-2 Thors, 3-2 siege tanks, and some Vikings. It's going to be a difficult army to engage, but LoWeLy has all of these infestors, and the infestor and the infested Terran is just so incredibly cost-effective in the super late game.
Yeah, I mean, well, LoWeLy does have a +3 on his missile attacks. That's going to help a lot with the infested Terrans. Wow, no parasite on the Thor to even stall for time, and even using the infested Terrans to prevent them from being able to moving any forward. LoWeLy's playing this engagement beautifully, able to fungal, but I mean, it's very cost inefficient to just fungal. Thors need a little bit more damage. LoWeLy using almost all of his energy. Not really able to snipe. These Thors are so resilient, my goodness.
Yeah, it's that +2 armor against it's not even that the infested Terrans didn't have upgrades. It's just the +2 armor on those Thors is fantastic. Strelok knows that it's over, though. He has no income, and he cannot continue to sustain this kind of gameplay. GG gets called. LoWeLy will take game number 1 on Whirlwind. An exciting game, a cool game, but ultimately,
yeah,
a fairly inconsequential one.
It's such like a LoWeLy game too. Just like, no, not LoWeLy in the literal way. I mean LoWeLy. I'm talking about him. Like, it's so interesting to see how he goes 2 base tech into mass play, and he even capitalized using infestors, bro infestors everywhere. As we see a lot of Zergs really now transitioning over to use of infested Terrans, not just fungals. Everyone complaining about fungals this, and they're fungal that. But infested Terrans are also incredibly useful, not just for their damage, but also trapping units and forcing workers out of position.
Yep, again, brought to you guys by iBuyPower PCs. They are the PCs that power the North American Star League. For your own high-performance gaming notebook or desktop computer, head over to iBuyPower.com. Game 2, LoWeLy Strelok, that's coming up next. Don't go anywhere. NASL commercial break happens right now.